Hello, 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 and welcome to the Becoming Iconic with Cheryl Pullins, the Daily Show. This is the show where we help multi passionate women shine their brightest light, share their message, and serve more people by going from generic to iconic. And today we have a special guest. And our special guest today for Special Guest Wednesday is Ferlie Almonte. I hope I said
Woohoo!
that right.
You said it perfectly. My goodness.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. I spent a lot of years in human resources, and the one thing I prided myself in was learning how to pronounce people's names.
That's a blessing. Actually, that is a skill.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I'm going to tell you a little bit about how I met Furley, and then we're going to jump into our talk for today. So let me grab the comment. Okay, I got the comments up here. So I attended a joint venture mastermind by David Fagan, and was I didn't know what to expect. It was my first time, and it was awesome, like really awesome, and I really enjoyed myself. But I went in with the intention that people that resonated with me, I was going to reach out to. And Ferlie, she wasn't one of the speakers or anything, but she came on saying how grateful she was about the event and participating. And I was like, I'm going to reach out to her because I loved her energy. I loved how she showed up on screen, and it was quick, but it was powerful.
Oh,
So I had heard her say a little bit about her story and about being resilient. And I thought, wow, I thought it would be great to have her on so we could talk about being resilient, especially in times of crisis, in times when in the times we're in. And so, Furley, welcome, welcome,
hello,
welcome.
Sherry. Oh, my goodness. How thrilled I am. First of all, thank you so much for your kind introduction. You know what they say, great minds think alike. And quite frankly, also, as the Dr. Wayne Dyer said, right? We attract not who we want, but who we are.
We
And
are.
quite frankly, between the two of us, I think we were both attracted to each other's energy because we shared already an incredible light, and also that we can feel from each other's vibration that we
Mhm.
are already in alignment. And I could not be more thrilled to have had you also on my show, Faces of Resilience, because you yourself has a really inspiring story that was really very relevant to what's happening today. And so I just want to thank you and appreciate you for what you do. And what I basically love what you said. What did you say something about before you introduce? You help people come from blank to blank.
Oh, yes. We help multi passionate women go from generic to iconic.
I love that. Generic to iconic. Woohoo!
Generic
Now
to
you're
iconic.
branded. And you know what happens when you're branded, right? Like, people perceive you as obviously offering more value, that you have passed way too many quality control standards. And that's who we are. Iconic. I love that. See, we're already having a good time.
Yes, 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 yes. Awesome, awesome. So, tell us your story. Tell us who Ferlie Almonte is, what she's about, how she got to where she is.
Wow. Where do I even begin? But thank you for the opportunity to share my story. And I'm going to try my very best not to cry, because this is very heart wrenching. And I hope that your viewers and listeners would be able to find their own story in mine, with
Mm.
hope that you can also learn lessons from how I was able to emerge to this incredible fabulousness and for deliciousness from where I've been, right? So I will start from, as a, by trade, I'm a respiratory therapist. And about 15 years ago, I was exposed to an occupational hazard that left me with 40% permanent lung damage and severely disabled, that I was not able to work for over 10 years. And it was the most humbling time of my life because literally I would walk 2 feet and I would turn blue.
Mm.
I could not, I felt like I was in a bubble because the smallest amount of exposure to, to chemicals, to perfume, to cleaning agents in the home, to heat, humidity, to pollen, to cold air, my airways completely shuts down very, very quickly. Basically, my exposure to this occupational hazard, I found out basically that it affected a major nerve in our body called the vagus nerve. It's
Mm.
not Las Vegas. Vegas is VAGUS, and it is the main a main nerve in our body that connects the head, the throat, the heart, the lung, and the
Oh, wow.
GI. And so there was a point in time I did not know that was what was happening to me. With the slowest or smallest amount of exposure to a trigger, I would suddenly feel like my head would explode with a massive migraine. My throat would close. My chest would actually feel really tight, and my GERD would act up. I would burp like continuously, and I had no freaking idea what was going on with me.
Mm.
So I went to see several doctors, and when I did see doctors, one, you know, felt that I knew too much. Well, I am a clinician. Of course, I can articulate
Right.
myself,
Right.
right? And one said that I needed to go to an academic institution because they had no idea how to treat me, and the other one just wanted to give me Xanax, like it's the cure, right? Until
Okay.
until one time, one of the doctors I used to call on when I was a pharmaceutical sales rep, who was a Harvard grad, Dr. Thomas McGregor from Columbia Presbyterian,
Mm.
he was the first one who actually listened to me. So I went to him with such humility, and he asked, and I shared with him how I was feeling. And he said to me, Ferlie, I want you to know that your problem is like most people have. Your doctors don't listen because they are so strapped in time. And so they just treat the symptoms, but
Yes.
they're not getting down to the root of the problem. And so he thought that I was a cuckoo too, right? And
Mm.
so he touched something on the back of my throat, which threw me into an acute bronchospasm. I was panicking because I could not breathe. In the meantime, he just kind of watched me. And then when I was ready to pass out, I got calm, and he said to me, I don't want to scare you, but this concerns me. Your vagus nerve has gotten hyperreactive, that no amount of inhaler or medication can save you once it's triggered.
Mm.
Did I just get my life sentence? I did not know what to say at that particular point, but I just remembered from that point that I could go at any time. And I
Mm.
said to myself, I would live my life as though each day is my last. And so that's why I begin to live a life that was full of joy and meaning, and creating experiences and bringing value to people's lives. And of course, during that time also, I was not, I also came from a very nasty divorce. That was another adversity I've been through. To this day, I still have a restraining order against my ex-husband. And it was really very, it's lonely, and it's very isolating, and at the same time very humbling. And so I prayed to God like I've never prayed before, and I said, Lord, I know I'm in this world to be of service to others. Please show me how. I'm
Mm.
not ready to check out. And so, and during the many times that I was like really down on my knees praying, I said to myself, I will not be defined by my adversities. I will make my mess my message. Because when I found love again, woohoo, right?
Mhm.
I was so happy I found love again. I got married. Tragically, within 8 months of my wedding day, I lost my spouse to pancreatic cancer. And during the time that she was dying, I was laid off from my pharmaceutical sales job. I went broke. I went into foreclosure. I went into bankruptcy. And so it's almost like just throw everything that you want to throw my way, and I'll find a way to get above it. And I chose to rise above every single one of them. And I said, I will not be defined by my adversities. I will make my mess my message. And that is where it all started. That I started to write books, and I actually co-authored three international best-selling books. And I'm launching my fourth book, and I became an image consultant. I became a life coach as well. I um I also became a motivational speaker, and through all of this as well, I started to write lyrics to songs, and I actually will be launching my one woman show called Make Your Mess Your Message, where I will be singing songs that I wrote lyrics to, so all original songs. I love the fact that I am able to share my message of hope and resilience to others through my writing, through my coaching, through my speaking, and through the many different things that I do in life, including helping people become financially resilient, because resilience became my big brand. Actually, that, I would say that was my brand. My zone of genius is resilience and confidence. I help people move past the darkness of their lights and, you know darkness of their lives, and lead them to their light. Because sometimes when you're down, you're so scared, you have no idea what the hell to do with your life, right? Sometimes it takes somebody to ignite your light, to be the beacon of light, and that's what we do. Quite frankly, listening to your story, Cheryl, is that I realize that most of us actually end up coaching people and helping people from what we are looking to heal from, or
Yes.
what we healed from,
Yes.
because we come now from a place of wisdom and experience, because no amount of degree like letters after our name could ever replace the experience of what we've been through, because now we become the voice of those people in places of darkness and despair.
Mhm.
And as I've said, in my life right now, I love that I'm able to help people through the many skills that I have. And when you said multi-passion, oh my God, said, thank you, Lord, that there is somebody who understands what it means to be multi-passionate, to
Yes.
be multi-talented. You just learn to have to embrace that and be grateful for all of those blessings, because God downloaded us with these gifts to be able to
Yes.
impact other people's lives. So that would be it for starters. And of course, and one of the other things that actually led me during this pandemic is that it also awakened in me from my own from my own story, that we need to learn to reinvent our lives.
Mm.
We need to be open and explore different possibilities, because sometimes this is the time that you will be awakened to your genius. And quite frankly, I also found that there was another way that I could help people become more resilient in life, through financial resilience. And that's one of the things that I've learned to really share with others, because I was there. I know what it's like to be freaking broke. I
Mhm.
know what it's like to, you know what? It's easier to be resilient when you have money to play with, because when you don't really, when you don't really have much, it's very hard
Mhm.
to hire coaches, or to attend seminars, or seminars or workshops that would actually help us become who we are. And so people like you, Cheryl, is a true blessing to humanity, because I've heard of your tragedy when you were shot when you were 9. And for people right now, through this pandemic, we're dealing with civil unrest, we're dealing with pandemic, we're dealing with so many other issues, but many of us have lost our jobs. Many of businesses have closed. 40 million people out of work. What do you do now? It's time to basically reassess and actually do an inventory of your talents, because
Mhm.
there's a lot in there that we know we have, but we never really use, because we were defined by our jobs. Being in HR, you know, tell me, actually, I'm very interested to know, when you were in HR, like obviously you're looking for somebody for a particular task, like for a particular position, right? And so, how are you also looking at other people with, or it does that come later, like the discovery of their talents?
I
I
didn't do a lot of. So take your volume up because I get a lot of feedback.
Okay.
Um, I didn't do a lot of recruiting. That wasn't my area. My area was benefits and compensation.
Okay.
So I did a little bit of recruiting at one of my jobs. And I can't say that we looked at talent as a total thing. It was a specific job and looking for specific skills. It was more aligning that. I would think that, and I haven't worked a full time like out of the house job in 10 years, so but I would think that talent means something a lot different now. I would think, but I don't know. But I spent most of my time on the money side of HR. But the little bit of time I spent in terms of the recruiting aspect, we weren't looking for, a like total talents to see if at some point this person, is able to do something other than what we're hiring for. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that, because I've always been very curious, from the HR standpoint. Is there, when they ask for what your hobbies are, is there room for, advancement in your career that may not be exactly aligned with where you were hired for,
Mhm,
that kind.
mhm.
So that was the whole reason.
Yeah, now
And
that I think about it, I had one job. I lived in California for a little bit, and I had one job, and it was with a global creative firm. And there it was a little bit more of that there because it was very creative. They were highly competitive. I mean, our competitors was like Pixar, really high end places like that. So they had a different approach. So that's a great question. That was a
Yeah,
great
because
question.
like right now, one of the things that's happening right now is obviously so many people have graduated, so many people have lost jobs, and I'm sure they're all job searching right now. But
Mhm.
how many jobs are really open for the grabs? And people like us who are a little bit more seasoned in age will find it very hard to actually compete with the young grads who will be able to be hired a lot less expensively, and at
Yes.
the same time, sometimes people who have a lot of experience, we could not get the amount that we wish we can, that would commensurate with our experiences. And so, at times like this, since we're talking about resilience, it's so many gifts or so many talents have been uncovered. Just say for example with I know, like, say for example, even in sewing, right? How many people started to learn to sew,
Right.
to make masks, for instance? Or
Mm.
how many people are doing businesses from home? I have a lot of friends who actually started to learn to bake and do catering that will be delivered at the doorstep, so they can have home cooked meals that do not come from fast food chains
Oh
or something
wow.
like that, because they want something more variety. um, Things like that. And that's why it's during times like this, we challenge people to do an inventory of the things that you love to do, or what your friends are telling you're great at, that you never probably applied because you were very busy working your normal 9 to 5 jobs. And this is the time for many geniuses to come out. And there's a lot of new normals now. Like, I'm sure, actually, I don't know how it has affected your business, but actually I love working with my clients live, because when I work with colors, when we go on personal shopping, when I teach them public speaking skills, I'd love to be able to show them on stage, this is where you stand, this is how you deliver, this is how you should look. Now I'm teaching actually how to be Zoom ready, because that's the only thing really more relevant right now, because you just have to dress from the waist up. And like also the colors. And quite frankly, I noticed your photos from your different podcasts, and I said, like, I love Cheryl. I love how she reminds me of Madonna. She reinvents her look. Like, you had this purple, this gorgeous, stunning, like bob style looking hair, and it was like, wow, not everybody could rock that look, and she does. And look at you now. It's like, when you came on, I did not expect you to have another hairstyle, which is very, and it's kind of like demure and very feminine and very attractive. Things
Thank
like
you.
that. Like, I love that like, when you create your iconic brand, you obviously have to be open in being different, and so that people can begin to notice you. And
Mhm.
you're obviously very successful doing that. I love it, from being generic to iconic. Oh, I love I
Thank you.
actually, since we met at David Fagan's, actually, I remember him always as the icon maker, because I met him at during when I was training in Hollywood for TV hosting, and he was there. He was actually a guest by Anne Devere, and I remember him being introduced as the icon maker. And here you are, the iconic brand. I said, like, we all need to be able to show up in life, you know owning our value and actually rocking that iconic brand that we have, so
Mhm.
that people will begin to be magnetized to what we can deliver, so how we can change their lives. And I can see that you do it so beautifully,
Thank
you
you.
know
Thank
you know
you. Thank you.
and,
Thank
and
you.
so, like, this time of resilience that we're having right now is, it's like, it's almost like a brand new blank canvas for all of us. Like, okay, now you have a brand new start, you have a clean slate. What are you going to do with your life? It's now time to redesign your life. And one of the things I'd like to share, if I may, one one this is like probably from 15 years ago, when I was beginning to discover who I was. I am so different from who I was 10 years ago.
Mm.
I did not have a vision board, but what I created was my vision binder, right? I actually named Ferlilicious Enterprises. And then I later changed it to Ferlilicious Empire. It's like, okay, I'm going for something bigger. And
Mhm.
by the way, Ferlilicious means heart centered, soul inspired, purpose driven. And I have written in there in my own handwriting. I didn't type it. I actually wrote there my I am statement,
Okay.
how I want to see myself, how I am right now. Like, that I feel confident, that I am resilient, that I am, I am grateful, that I am a leader, that I am going to be the beacon of light for so many people, blah blah blah. And I actually drew the different products that I was going to create. And I also wrote there being international best-selling author. And I actually created there the jewelry line that I actually now have. It's wonderful when you actually set your intention and declare it to the universe in speech and in writing as well, because 75% of what I have written and drew actually came true. So it's a very very powerful tool that I hope everybody could begin to think about right now, where you're sitting at home still quarantined, because some of them most of us are still staying at home, being very very mindful. By the way, I'm one of those immunocompromised people, so this is a perfect time for you to create your vision board or your vision binder, and design your life. What do you want it to be? How much money do you want to make, actually? And most of all, how do you want to be remembered?
Mm,
What
yes.
is your iconic
Yes.
brand?
Yes.
Right, what
Yes.
is your legacy?
Mhm.
Those are really really awesome things that I'm beginning to inspire people to do. Am I talking too much?
No, no, I love it. I love it. I love when people talk. It allows me the the viewers. It allows us to get to know you. They hear me talk all the time, you know. So to have you come and not just share your story, but also to share the things that have worked for you to help you become resilient in your life, your years of not being able to, work, and your years of, dealing with all the different things you were dealing with. And to see you now as someone, I had put the comment up, and I'm going to put it up again because I thought it was so powerful. They said, talking about a compelling bouncing back story. This is it, referring to your story. So it's very powerful. It's
Thank you.
inspiring. It's
Thank you,
moving.
Teresa.
It's someone watching could potentially look and go, wow, if she can, I can too.
Let me tell you something. Yes, the bouncing back is resilience. Resilience is really your ability to adapt to change. One of my favorite quotes. I'm trying to like Mr. Darwin. I'm it's escaping me the first name right now. But he said that the definition of resilience is one. It is not actually. It is not the bravest or the strongest that survive. It is the one who is most adaptable to change.
Mm,
In life right now, there is a new normal. There is a new normal in the way we do things. We cannot go to restaurants anymore. We cannot go networking in live events. We cannot go clubbing anymore. Everything has, a lot of things have gone virtual. Even the way we see our doctors, our lawyers,
right.
things have changed. And so you need to be able to adapt to it, because if you resist, the problem will persist. You okay?
Say that again. Say that
Let that
again.
sink
Say that
in. All
again.
right. If you resist, the problem will persist.
Mm,
Okay. So the more open minded we are, the better our chances to find new solutions. Actually, I have my own quote. I said, pain is global, hope is universal, resilience ignites solutions. It is our ability to adapt to the changes in our environment, to the people. It's not even just the environment, it could be your career, it could be your relationship. So what if you had a breakup? So what if you got divorced? Hey, listen, maybe God did not intend for them to be part of your future. Now you're given another chance to create a new beginning. You are not what happened to you. You are what you choose to become. This whole life we have right now is going to be full of possibilities. And while I'm sitting even at home, it's like, okay, what else can I do? I actually love being able to do my work from home. I actually did a little. Okay, now we have a lot of new normal. A lot of people are unemployed. A lot of businesses are closed. A lot of new relationships are also formed because people are divorcing from domestic violence. The true colors actually emerge when you're quarantined together and you just can't stand each other anymore. Those things happen, and that often also leads to a brand new beginning in life. And now the first thing that I do each day, I hope you do, is also start each day with a prayer of gratitude.
mm.
Because when you count your blessings and say a prayer of gratitude for everything that you have, it may not be much, but guess what? You woke up this morning. That is a huge blessing. The fact that we're still above ground right now is a place for you to be grateful, because we are above ground. There's always a possibility that you can change it. If you are dead, it's finished. But if we treat each day as a clean slate, it's okay. We made mistakes in the past. Let's just learn from it. Learn from that mistakes and grow from it. Don't keep doing the same mistake. You got to break the pattern at some point. And then when you begin to learn and embrace, and it's okay, laugh at your mistakes. Actually, the humor humor and music softens mistakes.
Mm,
When you realize, oh my goodness, what the heck was I thinking when I did that? We
mm,
all have those moments. I had plenty of those. It's like, why did I do that? What was I thinking? Maybe at that moment I was feeling disempowered. Maybe I was just lonely. I was not thinking correctly. maybe I was too trusting. But you know what? You're wiser now. You are a different person now because of those mistakes, and learn from it. You are like a statue of David. We keep chiseling what you're not, and then later on you will be formed into this magnificent human being that God created you to be. But in life, you will be defined continuously. You will continue to grow, you will continue to evolve, and just be open and embrace all of those new possibilities that you have in life. And you will see. And also, when you are open, it's also very important to now prepare so you don't make the same mistakes as what you've had before. For example, this is very, very important for all of us because money touches everything, right? There was a point in time in my life I had life insurance, but I did not have living benefits. So of course, where am I going to get money to pay for my mortgage, for my food, and for everything else in my life? I did not prepare enough for it. So let's say, for example, nowadays what I help people with is to help them, say, have life insurance with living benefits, so you don't have to die to access your life insurance. So these are the money you can actually access when you have a debilitating illness such as COVID, um, cancer, stroke, heart attack, all of those things. You don't have to die. Those are available now. If you just open yourself to learning from other people who can make your life better,
Mm,
magic will
mm.
happen. Because when you surround yourself with coaches, for instance, people who have made mistakes or have learned, like Cheryl is iconic in her creating generic people to become iconic brands, right? So she has the experience and the wisdom and the knowledge to be able to help you to become who you can be with in a lesser amount of time with less mistakes. So surround yourself with people who are wiser than we are,
Mhm.
who are experienced, because we will not know everything in life. So I surround myself with people smarter than me so I can continue to learn from them. So whether it be in relationships, spirituality, finance, branding, social media marketing, graphics, those are, like, by the way, those last few that I mentioned, those are not my zones of genius. I have no patience for them, nor, you know this is one thing, by the way. Don't try to do it yourself all the time, because
Right.
people make that mistake.
Yes.
Oh, I can do it because I can save money. It will cost you
Yes.
more money
Yes.
because now you've lost time, you've lost energy when you could have used those energy doing things that you are good at. But if you just hire somebody or delegate to somebody the
Yes.
things that you don't like to do.
Yes.
I have learned that I hate admin. I hate admin with a passion, and I hate to work with numbers, right? So I delegate that to Christine or somebody else, like a bookkeeper, because you try to do things that don't bring you joy. It slows you down, and it
Yes.
steals it
Yes.
steals your serenity.
Yes.
So,
Yes. I love
and that's
that.
like, yeah, right. So
I love that. I
you
love
like
that.
that, right?
Yeah, I do. And it's interesting because on Mondays on the show, I do mentorship Mondays, and I talk about the power of something different every week. And this week, this Monday was the power of delegation.
Oh my goodness. I believe in that. I am glad. I have to tune into your show regularly because you obviously bring a lot of value. My friends, please tune in to Cheryl Collins, because she will teach you a lot of things. If you are a solopreneur, you're a small business owner, and you're looking to create an impactful brand. This lady, first of all, is so sweet and kind and very patient
Yeah.
in listening in listening to what you need, so she can help formulate and design the brand that you're looking to become. Did I say that correctly, Cheryl?
Yeah, it is. It is because a lot of what I do, I teach people how to brand themselves for where they're going, not for where they are. So, so yeah. So that was great. Well,
Yeah.
It
Yes.
has been such a great conversation. So great having you. I love listening to you. You're such a, you have such grace. You have a great presence. And you talk like I talk. It just you do from one thing to the next, but it's all connected. It's all connected. So thank you so much.
You're
So,
welcome. It is
do you
such.
have anything coming up? Where can people connect with you? What's the deal?
Well, okay. First of all, in all my social media, I kept it simple. You can look for me uh, at Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and on YouTube under Ferlie Almonte. That's Ferlie Almonte, Almonte. So you can follow me there. I have two podcasts, and I've had the pleasure of having Cheryl in one of them, Faces of Resilience, where I showcase people with ordinary people like us with extraordinary stories of resilience so that people can learn from them, from their mistakes, and from how they were able to rise above them. And my other show is called The D Word, and D stands for divorce, death, disability, deceit, and despair. And we basically help people be led to their dazzling destinies. So
Mm,
everything that I do is all about inspiring change. And I'm looking to actually create online programs because obviously everything is virtual right now. Who knows when we're ever going to get together and how it will be if we are all present. But I look forward to one day sharing the stage with you. um, and perhaps we can, I'm even thinking of, you know what, when because I'm an image consultant and as a life coach, I could help people find a new beginning, and then like, okay, now is your chance for you to work with Cheryl, who can shape that goal that you have in your life into an iconic
mhm,
brand. Yeah,
mhm,
right.
mm,
So,
yeah, yeah,
well,
that's
thank
hot.
you so very much for having me. I am very, very blessed, and I feel that you have enriched my life in so many different ways as
Oh,
well.
that's so awesome. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. And thank you so much for
You're
being
welcome.
so gracious and for sharing your story, for coming on, for being open to, less than a month ago, we were total strangers, had never seen one another, to
No
you being
sisterhood,
here.
right?
Yes, yes. What a great example of sisterhood, to go from
Yes,
having never met
exactly.
one another, and less than a month later we've connected. I've been on your show, you're on my show, and open to whatever else happens going forward. And that is a great example of how this
This is the upside of a pandemic.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, look at the positive of what's negative around us right now. But listen, beautiful friendships happen because
Yes,
of the
yes.
pandemic. So, just look for something bright and the possibilities despite your adversities.
And it's really true, because I have met more people globally in the last month than I've probably met in the last 5 years.
And we can meet many more, so many more people in a short amount of time.
Yes,
So that's why
yes,
I say, like, just be open to the new normal.
yes, yes.
As you move forward to that, you embrace it instead of resist it. You will find that, oh wow, look, I have a Cheryl Collins in my life now.
Right. And I have a Ferlie Almonte in mind, And
Right.
who knew? We met on at a virtual event, and you're in New Jersey, and I lived in Pennsylvania for the
Well,
longest.
whenever you are in New Jersey, please look me up, lady, and you can always crash in my humble home, and I'll come visit you also in Florida
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
when it's not so humid.
Oh, I agree with you there, because it's a little hot right now.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining me, Ferlie. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I appreciate you. We've had a great time. And the truth is, this is what sisterhood looks like. This is what resilience looks like. This is what pivoting looks like. You could go down the list, just from this conversation, to see how you can have a resilient mind in a time of crisis, and the beauty it can turn into. And on that note, this is Cheryl Pullins from CherylPullins.com, your iconic brand strategist, and we help multi-passionate women shine their brightest light, share their message, and serve more people by going from generic to iconic. We'll see you
Woohoo!
next time.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.